What is up, all my hope healers and hope dealers? Welcome to my YouTube channel, my PhD, my prison history diploma. My name's Kim, and I did 10 years and 8 months in Florida Department of Corrections, and I've been out for over 15 years now. Whoop, whoop, raise a roof on that one. So I wanted to make a video today because I've had several people ask me, what did I go to prison for? Why did I get sentenced to 12 years, 85% to Florida Department of Corrections? So I'm gonna tell y'all the story about what happened, how I got there. And I wanna tell y'all that I know for a fact that I needed to be held accountable. The 10 years and 8 months that I did in Florida Department of Corrections, I gave them my freedom. And it is something that I use to help me become a better person. So with that being said, I'm gonna tell you the story about what landed me into incarceration in Florida Department of Corrections. So if y'all go back into my videos, you'll learn that when I was about 13, 14 years old, I went to a private Christian school and had my private Christian school PE coach sexually abuse me. The school kicked me out, blaming me, and I ended up running away from home. And you know, that put me in a position where I was much more vulnerable to learn about drug use and those kind of things. So the good news is I didn't really end up on the streets per se, but I will tell you that I learned about cocaine. Once I discovered cocaine and it entered my body, I felt like everything was bliss and my life was perfection. I thought, this is what the freak everybody's doing to deal with life, to cope with life. I absolutely used to love cocaine. And you know, that was in my younger years. I was 15, 16 years old when I first tried it. And I would say when I turned around 17, going to 18 is when I just really went hard, loving that cocaine use. So, you know, with that being said, I had developed myself a habit, unfortunately at a young age of 17, 18 years old. And it was a habit of, like I said, cocaine. You know, I remember when I would do cocaine and I would finally, you know, get tired and I would go to sleep. You know, I would wake up from a sleep and I would tell myself, I'll never do that drug again. That was awful. Like I'm out of control. And then next thing I know, I was doing, you know, cocaine again. And it was just this terrible hamster wheel. And, you know, obviously I developed a habit that I had to support. And I ended up meeting somebody through my drug dealer back then, my cocaine dealer, that they had a lot of money where we met at. We met at my coke dealer's house. And this person had a lot of money. And I remember they bought a large amount of cocaine. So of course I became their friend. And me and this, and he was a guy, we didn't have anything romantic going on, but we both used the cocaine, the large amount of cocaine that he bought, and it was like a 3 or 4 day run. And I mean, we just used coke nonstop. And by day 5, we were out of cocaine and we were out of money. And so I remember turning to the person and I was like, man, what do we do now? Like, I'm not done partying. And it you know, the audacity of calling it partying. It was just a terrible, nasty, disgusting habit. And, you know, but in my young mind at 17, 18 years old, I called it partying. And I'm like, how do we, you know, pick this back up? I'm not done running. And I remember the guy told me, hey, you know, you have a card, this is how I got the money. And he told me, I've been robbing houses. And I was like, yeah, dude, I have the card, let's, I'm in, put me in, coach. And I went with him to go rob houses in the state of Florida. And the first 3 houses I did not go into. And by house number 4, I could feel myself like wanting to share that excitement with them of going into somebody else's home. First, I want to say I'm so sorry. Anybody that's watching this video, if it was your home that I touched in Florida, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I was a young kid with an addiction and did not know how to support my habit. And I'm so sorry for any fear or discomfort that I caused anybody in their own home. With that being said, by home number 4, I had worked up the courage and wanted that adrenaline rush as well. And I started going into these homes with that person, this guy. And, I went in with them and helped him rob the last 4 houses. And, this was a 2-day run of us just, breaking into people's homes. We stole anything from guns to clothes to jewelry to any camera equipment, anything that we could resell, we took from these beautiful homes. And after about 2 days of doing this, it was time for us to sell this merchandise. And so, of course, we went to a shady part of town and, started to fence the stuff off. We, of course, were ready to start using cocaine. We were getting antsy and we're driving down this road with all these stolen goods in my car. That was my car that we had in the state of Florida. And I remember we probably looked like fish out of water. I don't know. We probably just had a look like they're doing something wrong. But we ended up getting pulled over. And I remember looking at the guy that was with me. I was driving and I said, "What do I do?" And the guy that was with me, he said, "Hey, I just got out of prison." And I was like, "Dude, you're not going back." Now, in my mind, I was like, I am so sick of my life right now. I knew that I was not happy using drugs. I knew what I was doing was absolutely wrong. And I knew that I did not know how to get out of this hamster wheel. All I knew is I needed a way out and I didn't know how to get there. So I looked at him and I said, "You're not going back in." And I put the car in first and I took off. And of course, what happened immediately after that is the cop took off after me. And the next thing I know, 3 minutes to 5 minutes in, I felt like I had the whole Florida law enforcement officers behind me. So I had a bunch of officers behind me and I'm driving around this particular city in Florida, stolen goods in my car, passenger in my seat, running from the police, driving like Mario Andretti. And all I kept thinking was, I got to get rid of him and then I got to figure out what to do with myself. And so I take him on this car chase and he's screaming. And I remember telling him, "Look, dude, I'm going to get you your freedom. If I get out of this, I'll meet you at our drug dealer's house. If not, don't worry, I'm not going to snitch on you." So I'm driving and I finally get rid of the cops long enough to get him out of the passenger side of the car. And he got off and it got out and ran. And I kept going for about, 5 to 10 minutes longer. And finally, I just decided I can't do this anymore. So I went, I was probably going about 40 miles an hour, maybe less. And I hit a tree and I remember okay, I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. And so I was like, I'm just gonna run and I'm gonna pretend I have a gun on me. So I get out of my car and I'm running from the police and I can hear them running behind me. And I reached in my, I was wearing jeans. I reached in my jeans like I had a gun, hoping that they would shoot me. That did not happen. Instead, they chased me even harder, caught up with me, jumped on me, and I did physically, obviously try to get them off of me, which earned me another charge, which I'll tell you all my charges in just a second. But yeah, that's what happened the night of my arrest. they got me up and they handcuffed me and they took me to the cop car and asked me who was with me, and I told them there was nobody with me, and that was that. And they put me in the cop car and took me to the jail in the city that I was at, and I got charged with armed burglary, because some guns were stolen from a house. There was nobody home, just an FYI, y'all. It was armed burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, to be very exact. And I think like 5 or 6 other burglaries, and fleeing and eluding, and aggravated assault on a LEO, which is, a LEO stands for law enforcement officer. So those were my charges. I went to jail, I got those charges, I never told on the guy that was with me, and I got a public defender, which if anybody's ever been incarcerated, we like to call them public pretenders. Most people know this. Do not ever take your first plea bargain. I was at a point in my life where I just didn't give a shit. I was done with the lifestyle that I was in. I was done using drugs, and I did not know how to fix myself. So I took the first plea bargain, to not roll over and snitch on the guy that was with me, and also to try to figure out how to get myself off drugs. So I took the 12 years that was offered to me, which was my very, very first plea bargain. And I said, yes, let's just get it done and over with. And so I handed my freedom over on a silver platter. Okay, I knowingly gave away my freedom. Now, here's the beautiful thing. I am grateful to say that taught me that cocaine doesn't have to be in my life. It's not the cure, it's not the fix, and it was just a way for me to not feel the feelings and heal the heals that I needed to heal. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this video is obviously I want y'all to know why I went to prison, but I also want y'all to know that you have a right to either give away your freedom or keep your freedom. We get these choices, okay? And for those that are incarcerated that are innocent, and let me tell y'all, there are so many people that are incarcerated right now that are innocent, that did not commit the crime. Yes, it is a fact. We all know it. And those people, my heart goes out to y'all. And every day I pray that your innocence gets found and you get released. But for those of us like me who gave away my freedom, it was my choice, okay? It was my choice to commit the crimes. I didn't know that I was addicted to a drug. I just thought I was absolutely insane, and there was no way to fix me. To be very honest with you, I was very young. I was a kid, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I did know for a fact that I was committing crimes when I was robbing those houses. So I did. I gave away my freedom on a silver platter, and I own exactly why I went to prison, and I own the fact that I deserved to have gone to prison. So, I mean, that's something that I am not proud of, but what I am grateful for is the fact that I took that opportunity to learn about myself and to learn how to put myself in a position where this situation where my freedom gets taken from me will never ever happen again. Freedom is our birthright, y'all. Freedom is our birthright. And when somebody tries to take it, we have the right, we have a free will where we don't have to give it away. And the reason why I want to put this out there is I want people to be conscious of the fact that freedom is your birthright. You don't have to give away your freedom. Okay, one of the things that I think about is getting the jab. Y'all, we have a right to say yes or no. Okay, if you lose your job because you don't get the booster, so be it. There's another job waiting on you. Don't ever let anybody tell you you are not free to make your own decisions. You are free. It is your birthright. Don't give away your freedom like I did. Because I can tell you right now, when I gave away my freedom and I was incarcerated for those 10 years and 8 months, yes, I took that time to turn myself into a better person, but to tell you it didn't affect me I would be lying. Those 10 years and 8 months I can't get back, and I could have chose a different road. Did I know how to choose it? Maybe not, but I'm here to tell you that you have a choice today to give away your freedom. Be very conscious and pay attention to what's happening around you. If there's anything that smells, looks, or feels like your freedom is trying to be taken from you, pay attention and be aware. Freedom is your birthright. To all my hope healers and hope dealers, I love every single one of you all. And again, freedom is your birthright. It all starts with freedom of the mind. I challenge every person watching this video right now to try to turn off the TV. Don't even try. Turn off the TV for 2 weeks and start formulating your own thoughts without the TV being in your mind. I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer. Give it a chance. Give it a shot. I ask you to give that a shot and see how it changes your life. To all my hope healers and hope dealers, once again, I love all of y'all, and thank you so much for giving me a place to safely tell you what happened and how I gave away my freedom. I love y'all. Have a good night, and thank you so much for being here.